strategy for fixing the city's pension crisis?
That I will be honest with them, and that we have a great deal to be honest about. Our city is on the brink of a true financial crisis. The decision from this appellate court were to come down the wrong way, we could actually be facing bankruptcy. That's how serious it is. I warned about the pension plan. In June of 2002, I wrote a 5-page letter outlining what was going to happen. We would have a huge hole because we were raising benefits and decreasing contributions. And so anyway, I look forward to joining in the conversation, but those are the reasons that I want to be your city attorney, because we're in a crisis. I've got the background, I've got the support in order to bring the city together to get us out of this crisis and move us safely ahead into hopefully broader horizons and better days.
Did you all hear that question? Okay, we're going to begin with Jen Goldsmith.
In 1 minute, I have to solve. Okay,
55 seconds, go.
Okay. Let me just say, first of all, we got to stop the snake oil. Not every problem in our society can be resolved by a lawsuit. I see that all the time in my courtroom, where people's expectations are unreasonably raised that a lawsuit will solve everything. These lawsuits have been lost. The statute of limitations for filing the major lawsuit expired, according to Judge Martin. I've read the opinion. I think we need to be honest on what the solutions are, and they come out of, frankly, changing the pension plans for the future so that over a period of time, they will balance out. I'll just give you an example, and I think the city attorney, by raising hopes on the litigation, has somewhat interfered with the ability to face up to these problems. When I was in the legislature, we had a problem with the judicial retirement system. It was the same situation. Democrats, Republicans got together, we hired an actuary.
Sorry about that, we're going to have to cut you off there.
We got a tier 2 and solved it.
Okay, Mr. Peters?
Well, I do. Sorry. The City Council's been working on this already for some time now, and just this week we got a report that as a result of our work, our pension is funded at 80%, which is just slightly below the average public pension, and that this year will be the year that tops out the amount of the budget that the pension will take, and that succeeding budgets will be less and less consumed by the pension, leaving room for other people. We did that not because we sued anybody. That didn't work. We did that because we sat down with our employees and we worked out a labor agreement that said we're going to freeze wages and we're going to make you pay a higher percentage of the cost of your benefits. That cut the pension deficit by $350 million. We're also the council that in 2004 stopped the practice of underfunding the pension contribution. That practice went back to the 1990s. There's an extensive number of steps we've taken year after year. It's not a matter of suing people, it's a matter of sitting down and working through a problem just like you would as homeowners or families.
Amy Levine?
Fixing the pension deficit is not the job of the city attorney. If we could have litigated our way out of this, we would have by now. I was on the pension task force. I know the arguments inside and out. And P.S., while I was on it, we were winning. We were keeping them alive anyway. But that's not going to get us anywhere. We can take these people out, we can tar and feather them, we can hang them out to dry, we can bankrupt them as individuals. That isn't going to make a drop in the bucket when it comes to what our pension problem is. As city attorney, I will work with the mayor, who is charged with finding a way out of the pension deficit problem, and I will advise that person and the council on the legalities and illegalities of the plan that is proposed. That is the job of the city attorney, and I would advise them strongly to take the advice that they are given so that we don't end up in more litigation over it in the future.
Brian Midshine?
A lot of things have happened to fix the pension system, but one of the main things has been the last labor negotiations, where about $350 million was taken off the pension deficit. Over time, that will continue in successive labor negotiations into the future. But I think from a proactive standpoint from the city attorney's office, which really is what the question is about, the city attorney hasn't gotten anywhere from holding press conferences, from making crazy accusations about a whole host of people, or from any of his lawsuits. So at some point, the lawsuits have to stop, and what needs to happen is people just need to roll up their sleeves and get to work. I think the mayor has made some really impressive steps in that direction, and I will not be a city attorney that stands in the way in order to get myself on the news every night.
Go ahead, Judge. You lost your main pension lawsuit in part based upon a one-year statute of limitations. Last year, the California State Legislature unanimously passed AB 1678, changing that to a 4-year statute of limitations. As you know, the law is that legislation like this would apply to a pending lawsuit only if it is expressly stated so. What did you do to lobby for that addition to the legislation that could have saved your main pension lawsuit?
You're great. 3 times you've asked questions, and 3 times you've been wrong. And this is why. First of all, the conflict of interest case, the 1090 case, isn't the only theory, Judge. You should have read the pleadings. There's also a provision in our state constitution, in our city charter, that says you can't borrow money like they did with the pension without a vote of the people. That is the liability limit law. There's no statute of limitations that applies to that. The case that you're talking about is a case that was issued in the middle of our litigation. The judge initially ruled that even if there was a 1-year statute of limitations, we had properly alleged tolling. Those issues have not been lost. Again, as a judge, you should know that the case is on appeal. So why would you say the case has been lost? You said that you're an accomplished judge?
I warned about the pension plan. In June of 2002, I wrote a 5-page letter outlining what was going to happen. We would have a huge hole because we were raising benefits and decreasing contributions. And so anyway, I look forward to joining in the conversation, but